Good morning and welcome back to Margin. This morning we're going to talk about whether a family trust is the right answer. So let's jump right into it. So when looking at a way to organize and manage assets generationally, a trust is commonly utilized for the benefit of the beneficiaries. So Smart Asset was a resource I utilized in the research of this episode, and they provided a definition that I thought would be beneficial and seemed applicable with regards to a family trust. They stated that trusts are used to manage estate taxes, shelter assets from creditors, and pass on wealth to future generations. A family trust is a specific type of trust that families can use to create a financial legacy for years to come. There are several benefits to creating one, including ensuring your family members receive your wealth and avoiding public disclosure of trust assets. However, not every family necessarily needs a family trust, as there are other options too. Now, there are three key individuals involved in establishing a family trust, and at a minimum, you'll have a grantor or a settlor who provides and or places assets in the family trust. You'll also have a trustee who manages the assets in the family trust, and you'll also have the defined beneficiary or beneficiaries who benefit from the assets in the family trust. So according to Trust and Will, in an article relating to establishing family trust, they outlined four options. The first option came down to irrevocable family trust, a trust that cannot be canceled or easily changed after you create it. The grantor, the person who creates the trust, loses access to and control over the assets once the trust is funded. So the first option is irrevocable family trust. That is a trust that cannot be canceled or easily changed after you create it. The grantor, which is the person who creates the trust, loses access to and control over assets once the trust is funded. Because assets then become trust owned, irrevocable trusts are often used for asset protection. Now, the second option is revocable family trust. This can be easily modified or dissolved anytime you decide to do so. So these are very flexible trusts. So the third option is a living trust. A living trust is a legal document that holds all your assets while you're still alive. It also can explicitly detail your wishes for your assets after you pass away. So option number 4 is a marital trust. A marital trust, also known as an A trust, simply establishes that assets automatically pass to a surviving spouse upon the death of the first spouse. So once both have passed, the trust then goes to a designated beneficiary or beneficiaries. So there are many benefits for having a family trust, one of which being a shield to protect assets against creditors or a lawsuit. So much like an umbrella insurance policy or establishing an LLC where assets live, these in their own right protect an individual against having their personal assets exposed or targeted in the event that there's something like a lawsuit that occurs. So the other large benefit of having a family trust is the tax benefits that may exist from owning and transferring assets accordingly. So similar to setting up a will, a trust may be managed by you while you're still living, then assigned to an executor upon your death to then execute on. And in the same, a trustee for the family trust carries out the wishes defined in the terms of the trust. So as outlined by Smart Asset, you can include the following in a family trust. That is everything from real estate to vehicles, fine art, collectibles, and heirlooms, bank accounts, stocks, and other investments accordingly. So there's so much that can happen in life to upset our so-called plans. So setting up a family trust can protect the assets in the event that one or more individuals are involved in a lawsuit, maybe a bankruptcy or a divorce. In addition to this in particular, it provides additional privacy for the family, protecting the estate from having the assets made public. So whichever trust you choose to go with, there are varying degrees of flexibility. So if you choose to basically adopt an irrevocable trust, then make sure that you utilize an attorney to establish, review, and finalize it, as to ensure that it includes everything you wanted to have included in there, that it was completed properly, and to ensure that all specifications are outlined and covered, and there's a second set of eyes, or even more than that, on that document. Because once you establish it, it's unchangeable. It cannot be revoked or changed. And that's why you want to make sure that you spend extra time on that one in particular. So starting the process, you may choose to initially utilize an online tool such as LegalZoom. Now, LegalZoom has an article that covers the setting up of a family trust, which includes basically drafting the trust document, choosing that trustee to manage and administer the trust, and then transferring the assets into the trust so that then you have the trust established. Now, once these components are pulled together, you may want to consult an attorney to ensure that the trust is set up properly. Now, I mentioned this before, but I'm echoing this again, just to make sure that you have the correct trust for your needs, and that it is accomplishing the goals that you set out for it to accomplish. So my call to action today is to take a look at the will you either have in place right now, or the one that you will be putting together and establishing, to see if there would be a benefit of establishing a family trust as well. If this information is helpful to you, please do like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're reminded to come back on a daily basis and improve in managing your personal finances. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.